Summertime, what to do on the stock market?
Is it a question for me?
Yes.
We are going to answer that, and we have two interesting stocks where you can have a look at that is related to the summertime, because it's the 1st of July, it's Friday, the 1st. So what happened in the first half of the year?
Exactly, yesterday the 30th of June, so we ended the first half year, and it's not a surprise because I think we discussed it before, but it has not been a good year until now. The Euro Stoxx 50 and the S&P 500 both lost around 20% from the 1st of January until yesterday. So that's really, really a bad start of the year.
And the Nasdaq?
The Nasdaq even more, 30%.
It was the worst first half of the year since
1970.
1970.
Yes, I saw it also. It's like, and
so
people.
so it's my worst first half year.
Yes.
Because I was born in 83.
I know that normally all things have happened, though, in the long history of your trade. But yeah, it's something new, and I think actually that people are not really. They are maybe prepared for this kind of things, but they are negative. But 30% of your investments in an index,
on average, yeah.
On average, that's really impressive.
We're also going to talk about two stocks that lost a lot this year.
Okay, so yeah, it's not so difficult to find some, but
last week we found one.
Yeah, but it was an exception.
Yeah,
huh?
we were looking for it the whole week
until Friday, and then you found Kellogg's.
Yes.
Also important to mention that the dollar gained 8% during this time frame from the 1st of January until yesterday. So people investing in the US, for example, the Nasdaq, at least they have a stronger dollar, so that's also important to mention.
If you live in Europe.
Yes, people
there,
from Europe investing in dollars. But today, let's keep the first part of the year behind us. The second half year, and it started, we are in summer now. I think we already are quite a while in summer now with nice weather.
10 days.
Yes, so it's not exactly new today, but it is an interesting moment, of course, to see what to do in summer with your investments, some specific summer stocks. And I think all analysts and investors know that the summer is coming. It's not like a surprise and you must buy now something.
If that's a surprise for you, you have a problem.
You have a problem. Every year, sometimes we make a joke, now people going to drink beer in the terrace. But of course, that's not something that is now like a surprise. But of course, there can be developments that sector or the companies have a specific potential boost, and so it's also not like, okay, I know that Heineken or Walt Disney is having a good business now.
What are the sectors, the summer sectors?
Yeah, so I think first of all, after Corona, the lifting the restrictions could also give that kind of boost now this year. We saw that the airports, for example, are busy. Also
quite full, yeah.
Full, not only because of this, also there are other problems, but I mean, prices of tickets go up also based on those kind of things. But the sectors, what you asked me, of course, holiday, it gives people the possibility to go to attraction parks, for example, to like theme real parks, leisure, theme parks like Disney. Restaurants, of course, locally, hotels to sleep. But if you decide to go to another place, of course, to celebrate your holidays, you have to take the plane, for example. So also airline companies, cruise ships, cruise companies, those are part. And if you arrived on your destination, maybe you can go directly walk into your hotel, or at the airport, you have to arrange some transport. And well, I make it like a small surprise, but it could be that you need a rental car.
Definitely.
So that's also one of the sectors and the companies, that is.
There we're going to talk about the renting car industry.
Yeah, so that's an interesting industry, and like we said, maybe it's nice to highlight a few of them.
Thank you, Taco. That's indeed what you see. A lot of sectors are benefiting from summer, and especially this summer, because they expect almost all around the world, especially in the south of Europe, a really busy summer season. Mm-hmm. Really busy. I want us to go 2 years back. do you remember what happened on the 2nd of November on 2021? Sorry, it's 1.5 years back.
No.
Okay. Then Avis Budget Group, so that's the official name, so Avis, the renting car company, came with their figures. And they were better than expected. So after the first Corona period, they presented good figures over the third quarter of 2021. And do you know what happened with that stock price on that day?
Well, I'm sure it didn't go up.
It went up. It went up with 200%.
Oh, that's
And then it
surprise.
closed at 108% plus. Was that based on were the revenues that good? Were the figures that good? No, they were good and better than expected. What I said, but then what you saw, the stock went up, and there were a lot of short positions in that stock. And because it went so fast, they had to buy the shorts back. So that's why you had a short squeeze, how it's called, and wham, the share price went up. So it was. I have it in the chart. We will show it in the chart. You can see it already here. It went here. You will see this. It went up from 150 to 350. Wham! In one day, and then it closed here. So it was a really interesting. So that's the first thing what we want to highlight, and it's also for you as an investor in general. If you are in an individual stock, please have a look at the short selling resistance, because that can be of a really big impact. And we have on our website, we have some links, so you can look at it. And I have here an overview how the shorts were. So you see already here at the end of August 2021, the shorts went up, and they were on the highest point. So you could have expected a little bit. And you see that that's the last day of October, because they reported every 2 weeks, and that's 2 days before the results. So you could see something up front. So if you
it was unexpected, but people who noted, they could have had some
especially.
leads.
So that was what happened with Avis, and that was really an important thing. And if I go 1 year more back in time, 2019, I want to talk about the second largest, because Avis is the biggest in the world. The second one is Hertz. What happened with Hertz? Maybe you know it, maybe you remember it, or maybe you know, okay, something happened. Hertz almost went bankrupt.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Now you say it.
Yeah, what's in the news, and that was mainly because they had a high debt. Their results, the usage of their fleet was, for example, better than Avis, 79% against 71%, so that was already better. But they had problems with the cash flow. That was at the worst moment. It was minus 0.5%, and they couldn't pay an interest for 400 million. So they almost went bankrupt, and then they were saved by two investors, Knight Capital Management and Sartorius Capital Management, and they invested more than 5 billion. So they paid off the debt. They realized in a Nasdaq listing, and that was at June 2020.
If I'm not mistaken, there was also something with the delisting of one of the. I remember
so
that.
They had a listing. They end up with a listing on the Nasdaq.
Yeah.
So if you look at the car renting industry, you look at the two main players, they have some history, a short history. So that's what you must realize if you look at those companies. It's a high risk industry, because if it goes well with the economy, they will boost. Like this summer. If it's not going well, they will suffer a lot.
Yeah. That's interesting to know. And also the short register. You made your homework, you did everything.
But it's something you could know.
You could know, but people don't know it, so
No.
it's very nice addition.
I was in Greece last year, and I went from an island to Santorini to Creta, and we didn't plan it up front, so we booked a boat and we booked a hotel, and then after we did that, they said, "Oh, we need a renting car only for a couple of days," and then I looked at the prices, so I thought, okay, we needed a car for 5 days, and I thought, am I looking at the price for 5 days?
Or to buy it.
Or to buy it, but it was the price for 1 day, and that was so I rented that car, and it was 120 euros a day, and that was not a Ferrari, that was not and a BMW. That was the smallest car they had, and that was like, I don't know, the Hatsu, the really small. So we came at that car. I was with my wife and my daughter and the suitcases, and he drove that car, and I looked at the car, and I looked at the suitcases, and I looked at the family, and he looked at me, that guy, and said, no, this is not gonna work. So we had to upgrade it. So at the end, I think we paid 150 euros a day for still a Mitsubishi or whatever it was, but a little little bigger model.
And
that was already
when was this?
last summer.
Okay, yeah.
But I realized I'm going to Croatia this year, and we also need a car only for a few days. But it was even more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
There are no cars, so all the cars are almost booked everywhere.
Yeah.
And what they do, especially in the south, they have a big fleet, and they build the fleet, the fleet on the high season. Mm-hmm. So in the low season they have too many cars, but in the high season, so they have already a lot of cars, because it's not like a city of London where you have a more stable revenues, because people coming every week. But so everything is already sold. A lot of places it's already sold out, so they can play with prices.
Yeah, it's incredible. Also, like parking space in the airport, it's not really. It's fully booked.
Yeah, Martin, our colleague, he is now to.
We were checking it, and I said, look, you can also do it in the airport itself. Only the long distance. And also, I had also a look at the car rentals a while ago. And maybe you remember that I used to rent them for a semi-long term.
I remember,
and there were like prices out of the season that it was really cheap, including insurance. They were like
a couple of euros a day, no?
Yeah, at a while. And now, if you check even outside of the season, they put it like what you said. Well, not the €100 always, but like really like 5 or 10 times more than that.
That's
and
a lot. Yeah.
People like tourists, like here, for example, they cannot choose. It's like really.
No, what you do, you book a hotel, then you book a flight, and then maybe later you book the car, and then you are, to say it in nice words,
you have a problem.
Yeah, Houston. Yeah.
No, but that's really. I was thinking about this.
So this industry is gaining a lot from this kind of summer seasons.
Yeah.
So let's look. I gave a little bit background information 2021, 2019, but now look at those companies, how they are trading now. Look, I've here the two charts of Avis and Hertz. Mm-hmm. We also put it in the screen. What do you see? Okay, you see the big boost in November, but you see also this year, the year starts here, it's a little bit down, and here it's also down. You see, Avis is more down than Hertz is more down. Avis, but you see, this is the chart. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's look at the figures. So Avis is trading at 147. First, I'm going to talk about the debt and about the profit per share and the price earnings, and then the goal of the analyst, and then we make a little summary. But then you know the background of the company industry. It's a high, you must realize, it's a high risk sector, but can be interesting. Mm-hmm. So again, Avis trading at 147, and the debt, if you see, they are going down from 2020 from 30.7 billion, 17.8 last year, and they expect that they go down, and they're already down, of course, because the first quarter is over, to 4. So the debt is really, really low against the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. Profit per share, so again, the share price is 147, and the profit per share is expected for this year of 38.8. 38.8. So if you are fast, if you maybe you have it in your hand, you do it. Then your price earning, so you pay that amount of profit to buy the stock is 3.8. Yeah. 3.8.
What I like about this figure is that what we just said, I can imagine, normally I wouldn't believe it, but based on what we just said.
When I say it.
No, if you see that in your in your platform.
Yeah.
But based on what we just said, I can imagine that things are, that the prices are going, they can ask what they want. People are, like I said in the beginning, they want to travel, they're not deciding to not go based on the price, and they're going to book their car if they need it.
So if you buy it now, you pay 3.8 times the profits. So that's really low. Is there something going on? Yes, there is, because the market expects next year, so 2023, a profit per share of 21. And this year again it was 38. If you calculate that back to the price of now, the 147, you pay 6.9 times the profit. It's still interesting.
Yeah, that's
Okay, that's Avis. Let's go to Hertz. Also, they are going down in the debt, so that's good. But this year they expected Avis is going down more. Why, I don't know, but that is what the figure shows. The profit per share is expected this year for 3.55, and that makes a price earning of 4.5. So 3.8 versus 4.5 is still very, very good, but a little bit higher. And also the same, what the market expects for next year is that the profit per share will drop to 2.38, and that makes a price earnings of 6.6. And what you then see is that based on the expected profit per share for next year, that Avis and Hertz are trading at almost the same level, 6.9 versus 6.6. Still interesting. I don't know, and nobody knows, of course, what are the estimations for the years after, but I think it's really interesting to see that there again, I repeat myself, it's a risk sector.
yeah.
And but you see that they are lowering the debt, so that's really an important figure to see. If you look at the analysts, 147 for Avis, now they expect that it will go up to 245. Hertz is trading out 15.8, and they expect that it will go up to 28. So there's a little bit more room in the Hertz. That's almost the double.
I can maybe also one expectation I have, like if this is the situation now, how easy it would be for other companies to say, okay, also in Spain, like there is a big business, to earn money. So I can imagine that there will be more competition based on this scenario.
Yeah.
That's one of the risks, I suppose, no? That if something is, so profitable compared to a few years ago, one of the risks could be, but of course, the Hertz are the big one, the scale of those companies.
If you look again to the Avis chart, in the beginning of the years it was 200, now it's like almost 150. So what's the percentage that it went down?
Exactly.
It's on average, on average. So you can also say, it went down with the market.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting to see if the whole market is going down, which stocks are probably going down too much, because they go down on the sentiment. To summarize, really interesting sector based on the coming up summer, based on the high volume of tourists they expect in the southern parts of Europe, but also in America. Price interesting, both are really interesting, but realize next year it will be assumably a lower profit per share. They lowered the debt both, so that's really good. Watch out for the short squeezes that can occur, but you have the official information register where you can get your information of. And the summer is good, and they went down already, the share prices. So, but how much is there in the price? So, will those explode or not? Is it too high risk?
Well,
I don't know. But it is a really interesting sector.
It's what you said, like if the market is down, so that the fact that some companies are down, that is also logical, no? And so if you are convinced of that company, it is a good moment.
And I think one step back, look at the sector. If you believe in that and you want to invest a certain amount, I'm not advising that, but if you want to do it, that's the good thing of investing. You're not gonna show buy Hertz. No, you have an amount of 10,000 euros. Then make your life more easily. And you say, about 5,000.
Also an idea.
Thank you for watching.
See you. Bye.
Thumbs up. Next time. Bye bye.